FIOI, the second song is 75% done. Let's dive into it, shall we?
Inside this dark room filled with shelves on it, my thoughts are filled. I'm scared.
In one of the other videos, I divided the story of this tune in 5 different sections. Part 1 described the scene of a child with his dead parents. Part 2 dive into his mind. So we're going to discuss about what he's feeling, what he's thinking, and all that jazz. Part 3, the surrounding, so a city after a conflict. Part 4, before the conflict, I wanted to describe a feeling, a situation before the word itself. And part 5, the instrumental that I still need to write, is the word itself. And dividing the story in these 5 chapters was really useful for writing lyrics, because I have a reference, something to go toward to, okay? And this is what I did. Let's jump into part 1. Describe the scene.
I'm here alone inside a nightmare. Alone and scared, surrounded by darkness.
I used a trick of dividing the story in 3 characters: the child, the mom, and the dad. And also I used in this rough demo that I'm going to post on Patreon if you want to hear it in its entirety. And I used my voice to represent 3 different characters. The child, which says, I'm here alone inside a nightmare, alone and scared, surrounded by darkness. This section here.
I'm here alone inside a nightmare.
I highly recommend to listen in headphone, because I have this image of a child with the spirit, the soul of his mom and dad, one left and one right. And I did that by penning the mother voice on a side and the dad voice on the other, like this.
I know the world took me from you, but we're still here with you.
And I double track when both of the parents wanted to say something to the child. I feel that in this case, the production, even though it's rough, can really help represent a scene, because I want to make this album a movie for the ears, let's say, like Steven Wilson used to say a lot. And even the dead side, I did the same exact thing.
Like my
Child.
own hands, hold him out. Stand up straight, stand up straight.
Let's move on to the second section, which had a really big change to it.
How can I live my life ahead? Oh God, please hand me, give me death. Give me death.
This was the original riff. And on top of this, I created this vocal melody. Let me solo it.
Inside this dark room filled with shelves on it, my thoughts are filled. I'm scared. I feel my world is upside down, and I am running round.
Which sounds like shit on top of this riff. So I decided to keep it because it's fucking beautiful, and also it really described that feeling of a boundless room, because I'm inside of the mind of this child, and I decided to change the riff to something like this. Let me go with a click.
Inside this dark room filled with shelves on it, my thoughts are filled. I'm scared. I feel my world is upside down, and I am running round and round.
Okay, let's listen to it in its entirety.
Inside this dark room filled with shelves on it, my thoughts are filled. I'm scared.
I really like this section, and I wanted to arrange it with some electronic percussion because drum-wise, I used Invasion by GGD, which has 2 Charlie. So I decided to go for a double Charlie pattern to have this left and right feeling like this. Okay, and I want to augment it, let's say, with some electronic percussion, maybe some glitched out stuff. This was my phone, sorry. But and lyric wise for this section, I went pretty literal because this section is called Inside His Mind, and I picture his mind like a boundless dark room filled with shelves, and on top of those shelves are his thoughts, his fear, the anxiety of losing his parents, a question like, what the fuck am I going to do? How am I going to live my life from now on? And also I'm picturing him running around checking on those shelves for the right mind pattern, the right thinking pattern, something like that to find peace, to find relief from the situation. Even though there's no relief, as a fact, the final line is, oh God, please end me, give me that. Okay, give me with that. Let's move on to the third section, which is the surrounding. Let's listen to the section. Again, if you want to listen to the full demo, even though it's a rough demo, I know you can check on my Patreon. I'm raising money with Patreon not to buy guitars, gear and shit because I have more than enough. I want to invest that money for the marketing side of it because I want to reach the right audience. Okay, let's jump into the demo. Even here I went pretty literal because I wanted to describe what is happening around this child. So I described a mother holding his dying child, a man holding his dying wife, building collapsing, sorry, I'm from Italy, building and shit like that. I decided to not go for metaphors and shit, but I wanted to make it really graphic. Also because I wanted to, let's say, mirror the intensity of a war, of a conflict, something that is pretty graphic and tragic. Riff-wise is really simple because, let me plug the right preset. I used the same chord pattern, both for the first section where I described the scene of the child and this one, because I wanted to make it similar, but also a little bit different. Why? Because the first riff is... And the second one, I simply made it like this. Open, without the glitchy effects, a little bit more delay and... driving the groove here are bass and drum because they are simple, but let me introduce that one after the other because I think is really fucking beautiful. Okay, vocals first,
surrounded by pile of bodies.
drums,
All I hear are those flames above my head.
bass,
They run from fire, escape from fire.
and then the layer of guitars.
Run away for your life, run away for your life. What am I going to do? What am I?
Super simple, but super effective, in my opinion.
Was a nice Sunday morning, around 10 o'clock, and someone dropped that bomb on a life, on a faith, on my youth, on a prey. Seems like we're falling
Then there's part 4, which is before the conflict. I wanted to describe a really intimate moment between the child, the mother, and the father before the actual war. And the lyrics again are pretty graphic, in this pretty literal, in the sense that I'm really singing what is happening. I'm gonna read only the first section. Facing my mother's eyes around father's arm, feeling the beat of the heart. Let's say it's Sunday morning, they are in bed all together, cuddling, playing. It was a nice Sunday morning around 10 o'clock, and someone dropped that bomb. I wanted to be really simple with this. And after that, the chorus of this section, let's say, is on a life, on a faith, on my youth, on my prey. And here I used the same technique for representing the scene and the meaning of the lyrics through the arrangement of the song. When I say on our, I use 3 voices, mom, dad, child. And when I say on my youth, I'm going for a single vocal like this.
I'm on a life, on a faith, on my youth, on a prey.
Simple, not the most genius genius and unique thing in the world, but I really wanted to use the instrument as character jumping in and out of the story. And after that, there's the instrumental section, which starts, with the same riff as the intro, like this. Sorry, I wanted to play so bad because I fucking love this sound, which is fucking sick. And then I'm evolving the section in something heavier, okay? Stupidly simple. In my mind, I'm picturing shotguns, tank going around building in the city. So I wanted something really. And also because I wanted to make it disgusting, as word is, of course. I wanted to make it super dissonant, like. Something like that. I wanted to give it a super atonal vibe, a super hexatonic, the weirdest scale ever vibe. This was the song. This was an update on the song. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to hear the full demo, it's a rough demo, I know. Follow my Patreon. I know everybody has a Patreon, but I need it for marketing and not for gear and other stuff. I am lucky enough to work with amazing companies. I just need help to put more money on the marketing side. Ads, courses for learning how to, I don't know, make more ads and shit. So, let's see us in another video. It's Bar.